Good Monday evening, high school sports fans. Joe Gillaway with Lingelstown Gazette Sports live from the Orchard Street studio. And this is episode 47 of our weekly podcast, Gazette Sports Chat, where we'll get to know participants from various realms of the high school sports world, the student athletes who play the games, the coaches who coach them, and others connected in different ways to the entire experience. We'll introduce you to tonight's guest in just a moment, as soon as we're done thanking those responsible for bringing you tonight's show, our Lingelstown Gazette Sports Platinum sponsors. And they are Rickabaz Electric, Payer Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, Tire Mart, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, Post 272, the American Legion on Mountain Road, Hoffman Ford, Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bob at Iron Valley Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thanks to those great local businesses for their continued support of Lingelstown Gazette Sports and our area's student athletes. We'd also like to thank on this Memorial Day, or actually acknowledge those who sacrificed their lives, gave the ultimate sacrifice and an act of love for this country. It is Memorial Day, and we hope that everybody had a chance to kind of pay tribute to what Memorial Day is all about. And it's about fallen soldiers. It's about soldiers who gave their lives to protect the rest of us. And we really appreciate and acknowledge those who were able to do that for the sake of the rest of us. So thank you to them and their families. We really appreciate it. Okay, upcoming on Gazette Sports Chat, Sunday, 6/1. That's June 1st. This coming Sunday, we're going to have two local coaches on, Clay McAllister and Scott Wyatt. And the significance of these coaches, first of all, they're great coaches. They're great leaders of young men and women. They win a lot of games, and they've had a lot of success. But they both coach multiple sports, multiple varsity sports as head coaches. And you don't see that too often. On the left on your screen is Clay McAllister at Mechanicsburg. He's a girls basketball head coach and the baseball head coach at Mechanicsburg. And on the right is Scott Wyatt, girls basketball, girls lacrosse. He's new to girls lacrosse. That's going to be a great thing to talk about. And he's also the wide receiver coach on the Cedar Cliff football team. So these are some wonderful guys, and we've been trying to put together a show to have them on together because of what they do that very few other coaches do, and that's coach multiple varsity sports. So this coming Sunday, we will meet them. So anyway, let's get back to our guest tonight is a Steelton High Spire High School alum who has not forgotten the importance of his roots and has shown this through a couple of sizable donations to the school's football program over the past couple years. He started his football career in blue and gray as a roller wide receiver before going on to an all-conference Division I college career, followed by a couple seasons in the NFL. We're going to learn more about his life and what brought him to the point where he's able to assist his community philanthropically, and we're going to tie his life into Steel High's current need for more financial support in order to get their football complex back up and running and improved. So let's bring him on. It's my pleasure to welcome to Gazette Sports Chat, Mr. Dave Sullivan. Dave, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Good to be with you.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I sat around all day. I couldn't wait till 7 o'clock rolled around. I mean that. Anytime we have an opportunity to do anything Steelton or Steel High related, it's our pleasure and our honor to do so. So we're going to get into who you are and why you're here. Specifically, you're here. But let's first get into why we're here tonight and the situation surrounding the Steel High football complex. I think most of the people, Dave, that watch this show have an understanding of what's going on there. And we're gonna talk about War Veterans Memorial Field on Cottage Hill in Steelton, and the need for some. It's past the need. It's a kind of a grave need. We're at the 11th hour of a lot of decay to the grounds, and it's an unplayable field, and it's a dangerous situation with an old grandstand. We're talking about a concrete grandstand, which are the home bleachers, and they've been in use since 1918, Dave. These are probably things you you already know. But I mean, that's 107 years, and
Mhm.
I still love. I walk in and I look at those bleachers, they're grandstands, every single time, and I just think, man, what kind of butts were sitting in those seats for all these years. We have an artificial football surface, artificial field that was installed in 2007. My understanding is a shelf life for a field like that is probably 8 to 12 years, and that's been
Mhm.
18. So that needs replaced, and then lighting needs replaced. And it's hard to speculate because that's not what I do, but I think we're probably into uh, the millions. Okay, all told,
Yes. Mhm.
and that that's going to come probably a little bit at a time. I mean, things didn't start out a little bit. You gave a sizable donation, but we want to try to get people interested and kind of excited about helping these young men and women, because it's going to be more than just a football field. Um, so let's talk about why you care so much about this project, Dave, and how you're helping to see it come to light. What does the town of Stilton and Stilton High Spire High School and its football program mean to you?
Well, that's a good question, Joe. Thank you, and excited to be on the program with you. You know, it's interesting for me to watch and see how things have unfolded here. And I live in the Midwest. I live in Indianapolis, and in my personal life and in my business life, um, I've been involved with a lot of causes and a lot of requests for help. And I don't think I have ever said no in my personal life or in my business life to a good cause. And this is certainly a good cause. You know, the Stilton and High Spire communities, I think at times are underappreciated. They're certainly underfinanced, but I wouldn't underestimate these two towns. So one of the things that when Andrew Irby called me and said, we need help, the field has been deemed unplayable, we need a new grandstand. This is the perfect time to unite the community and offer some other services beyond football, beyond athletics, and use it as a way to help everybody in both of these towns. So, quite frankly, Joe, I couldn't say no. And I'll give you a couple of reasons why. And I shared this past week, but the last home that we lived in from the 7th grade to the 12th grade, my family, we lived in 3 different houses. The last house we lived in was 100 yards from the football field. You can actually see it on the rendering that was put together by the architects. The second thing, and I did and spent a lot of time on that football field, practicing, playing, during my college days, working out, playing baseball, playing football, you name it. So it's special to me, and quite frankly, special to my family. And what happened when I played at Virginia, every year, a busload of Stiltonians would travel to Charlottesville, Virginia, to see myself and Chuck Bellick play. When I went to Cleveland, those same buses left Stilton to go to Cleveland and watch me play.
For the Browns,
And
to be clear, for the Cleveland Browns, NFL.
yeah, for the Cleveland Browns. And I was always honored by what they did. And I felt a debt of gratitude for what they did. And I've been very, very blessed athletically, professionally, financially. And as I said, when Andrew called me, I felt like I could offer business savvy, business insight, business judgment that could really help move this program and this project forward. So it was something, Joe, quite frankly, my wife and I talked about this. I couldn't say no.
Okay. And you touched on your football career. You had an all-conference career at Virginia, and these are some gaudy numbers. You played at a time where it was run, pass, run,
That's
pass,
true.
right? You
That's true.
try to get 6 or 7 yards on first or second down, then you might throw the ball on third down.
True.
You had 120 career receptions for 1,568 yards and 12 touchdowns at Virginia. At the time, those first two numbers were University of Virginia records.
They were.
You were a record holder. So
Yeah.
That's one heck of a career, a college career. That's a great school too. I mean, that's kind of a notch below Ivy League. University of Virginia is one of the top academic schools in the country too. And then you went on to play in the NFL for 2 years. You're a little banged up, right? You had some injuries, but I did read that you got to go up against Mel Blount one game, right?
Yeah. I had 4 knee operations in my career.
Okay.
The highlight of my college career was, I played on a not so good team, but individually, Joe, I was able to excel. And it was important for me at Virginia to excel academically as well as athletically. And those records that you refer to, they lasted for about 20 years.
Yeah, they're good numbers there, Dave.
Yeah, and those were 3 years. And
when
it came time for me to go to the NFL, my college career ended. I played in the Blue Gray game, played in the Senior Bowl game, which were exciting times for me. And then when Cleveland drafted me, the first mini camp I went to, as I told the Steelton group before, you go into an NFL training camp and there are a lot of high quality athletes. And they come from all different areas, from small schools, from the ACC, the Big Ten, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And after I went to my first training camp, mini camp, I knew I would have a good chance of making that team. And in my business career and in my athletic career, I've always had the ability, Joe, to assess the situation.
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to get better, stronger, quicker, faster? And things happened pretty quickly for me my rookie year in Cleveland. And my second year in Cleveland, you brought up Mel Blount. Now, the first start I had of my NFL career was in 1974. It was against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Cleveland. And Mel Blount was 6'4", 215. I was 5'11", 175. And I went up against him the whole game.
That's big in today's game,
us 20...
Dave. That's big in today's game, Mel Blount's size.
It really is. They beat us 28-13. What was interesting about that game for Pittsburgh, Bradshaw was benched, Terry Hanratty started, and Pittsburgh threw the ball 13 times the whole game and completed 3 passes. Okay. Franco Harris ran all over us, but that defense that Pittsburgh had 5 future Hall of Famers on it. And I played well against Mel Blount. Now, he and I have mutual friends in Pittsburgh, and he has a little bit different understanding of how I played against him than I do.
He thinks he totally shut you down, right?
Joe, I think Mel Blount still thinks he could play in the NFL. It was a great experience for me. I played well. I got open a lot. I caught a couple passes. Should have scored, but what a highlight for the first start of your career to play against that defense and that team, because it was quite the challenge.
That's phenomenal. So I'm just going to guess here. Was Brian Sipe your quarterback?
He was.
Okay.
He was. Yep. He was a
quarterback. You played with a really good quarterback there.
Yep. And he was not the greatest athlete, but a real leader and a real winner. And we had a great friendship, and he helped me out a lot.
Okay. So you graduate from Virginia and you got into a sales and marketing career. Is that correct?
That's correct. And what I did, the first and only job interview I ever had, was in the death care business, cemeteries and funeral homes. And over the years, that was a business that really appealed to me. And I developed a sales and marketing company that just happened to own cemeteries and funeral homes. And over the years, I've owned 48 cemeteries and funeral homes across the country, from Chicago to Houston, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Louisville, Philadelphia, and points in between. And what's interesting, we modeled our business plan the same way we modeled our athletic plan. And we hired well, trained well, kept our sales staff active in the marketplace, set goals, set standards. And a lot of the things that I learned in Stilton, Pennsylvania, that I transferred to Virginia, to Cleveland, in the business world, self-discipline, motivation, the will to win, desire played, Joe, a huge part of my athletic and business career.
Well, there is
And
no industry more of an ultimate kind of service industry than death care, right?
it is, and
I
it's
mean, the people that you're helping, your clients need your help and need your compassion and your love more than any other client or customer out there, right?
that's a very astute judgment. And we always put the customer first, the company next, and everybody else after that. And that model worked very, very effectively for me
Yeah.
and very efficiently. And had a lot of great people that worked with me for years and years and years and years.
So how did your life transition over to philanthropy? You've
it,
done more than just what you're doing here with Steel High.
yeah, and
You're a giving person. You're
I
somebody
am.
that has gratitude and has the means to help others, and you do that. How did that all?
It started at home. Okay. And my parents were like that. No, they didn't have the financial resources that I've had, but with me and my brothers and our family, when we could help people out, we did. In the business world, and we talked about this earlier, um, I don't think I've ever had anybody come to me with a worthwhile cause where we didn't help. And I felt a moral responsibility, quite frankly. You work in these markets, you do well in these markets. Our businesses were profitable, and I didn't mind sharing at all, and neither did our employees, and they loved it, knowing that we were doing good things and sharing our success with other people who need it. We did a lot of things with Operation Homefront. We're in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and helped them out. There's a charity that I work with, and you get a kick out of this. It was started by a gentleman named Mark Maynard, who's in Kentucky, and Mark's in the Sports Writers Hall of Fame for the state of Kentucky. And they went over to Africa, and they started a foundation, and they built a lot of schools, and our company was instrumental in helping them. And we've had a long relationship, and a long personal relationship, and a long giving relationship every year in and year out. So it's just the way we've done things, Joe.
So it's been diversified too. It's not just in one realm or the other. It's whoever you find that needs help and has a good cause or would be a good cause for you. You try to be there.
We really do, and again, it's been just the way we lived our life and the way we've done business.
Okay, so let's talk here about Steel High. About again, it's called War Veterans Memorial Field. It's on Cottage Hill. For those unaware, Cottage Hill is just they use the term Cottage Hill is just a kind of a neighborhood in Stilton, right?
Yes, it is.
If you come up off of 6th Street, it's a big steep hill to take you right into the stadium that way. There's a couple different ways to get there. But the stadium's been there since 1912. I'm just going to try to paint a picture here so people know, this isn't something that just fell apart all at once. Okay.
Right.
The stadium's been there since 1912. The concrete, I believe, I'm just going to call it a concrete grandstand. A beautiful sight to see. I think it's been there since 1918, and again, this artificial surface was laid down in 2007. So this stuff's kind of been just deteriorating a little at a time. Everything has on the field at the complex, and I believe you and I talked before we went on the air here. This is for those who don't know, this is a 3-phase plan. Obviously, the most needy part of it is to get the field up and running again. And the first phase is the field surface and lighting system replaced, the storm management system under the field overhauled, and the construction of a 6-lane PIAA compliant track. Did you know that the track and field athletes don't even have a home track?
I found that out on my visit last week, which is incredible.
And
that
they do very well.
they do.
They had a gold medal winner, I believe, in the 200. I don't remember the kid's name. I should, but I don't. But boy, if anybody ever needs a track, it's Steel High, right?
Yeah, it is. That's true.
And then phase 2 will see the demolition and replacement of the bleacher structure, that the one that was built in 1918, I mentioned, and construction of ADA, which is Americans with Disability Act, accessible grandstands, a new press box, classrooms, a kitchen, and a public restroom. So this is an absolute total overhaul we're talking about. And then the third phase is the creation of a career education and wellness center featuring a fitness studio, nutrition kitchen, and counseling center to support physical and mental well-being for students. Students, period. So that's why I said, earlier, the young men and women, even though football is a boys' sport, overwhelmingly a boys' sport. This isn't going to be just for football players or just for boys. This is going to be for children, for students, right?
It is, and this is a generational project. I told Mick Esbrick this. His dad was one of my teammates at Steel High. His grandfather coached me in Little League. He's the superintendent now, and his children are old enough to know this project's going on. Their children will know what this project is all about. There'll be 5 generations of Ispricks involved in this Steel High culture and Steel High project. This week gave me a lot of time to be able to reflect on things. And let's face it, Steelton has had its fair share of bad luck, and Highspire as well. And over the years, probably to the detriment of the stadium and some other things, there just weren't the resources to do things that normal high schools could do.
Right.
Now, this, with everybody affiliated in our ambassadors group and the hierarchy of the school, this is personal. Mm-hmm. And this past week, my visit into Steelton and Highspire, we have put together quite a group that is focused and is bonded and is committed to changing the landscape of this project, and are willing to really commit to whatever it is we need to do to get the results that we're asking for. So we've got a business plan in place. We put a marketing plan in place. We've got the talent to go out and do the things that need to be done on the fundraising side. We've engaged On Hill Development, which is a seasoned, experienced group that knows how to raise money in the nonprofit world and with grants. And we are prepared to go out and get the job done. And one of the things I told everybody during the week, I said, I have a strong feeling there's going to be big news by the end of this week. And of course, I knew I was going to make the announcement about the donation, and we really moved our efforts forward at a really great clip. We've got, Troy Drayton. I spoke to Troy today, and if you look at the ambassadors in this group, I'm a senior member, and then we will go down to Troy, and then we will go down to Jordan Hill, and we're going to add, Joe, more ambassadors to this group, because we want to get our word out. We want to get out and improve our market share. We don't want to limit this to Steelton and Highspire. We see Central Pennsylvania and the businesses and the families in that area looking at what we're doing. We think we've got a very, very good message. And we're not looking for a handout, Joe. We're looking for a handout.
Mm-hmm. Well, well put. I mean, that's a great way of putting it. And, I think frontline help is the needs of children. Okay. Of course you have maybe food first and housing and all that, but education is not far behind those things.
I
And
agree.
this kind of encompasses it, it's more than football. I want people to understand that, yeah, the football program needs help, and they need help now. They need a place to play, and there are some fields that are being lent to them in the interim, but this is going to help, the nutrition piece, and it's going to be an educational center that has very little to do with football, right?
Joe, it's going to impact, obviously, student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to impact students at that school. It's going to impact the faculty. It's going to impact the citizens of Steelton and Highspire. It's going to give them services that have not been available before. And it's a win-win-win for everybody.
Right. Let me ask you this now. What I want to be clear about for those watching or those who end up watching this is, I think most of the people know the size of the donation you made. You made $100,000 donation just about a year ago, and another 500,000 now. So, but I don't want people to think that it's covered now. We got it covered. There's no concerns anymore with raising any more money, because that's not true. I just kind of threw a number out there a little bit ago when we first started. I know that the total project is probably going to be a whole heck of a lot more than that 500,000. So how can people help? What can they do to donate?
Okay, it's going to be a multi-million-dollar project.
Right.
What we did at the end of the week was to use that as a catalyst and to get more and more people's attention and more people interested and excited in helping us with this opportunity. You can go to the Roller Nation Foundation website. You can call Mick Iskrick. You can call Mark Harms. We're going to be asking everybody that's willing to listen to our message and listen to our story. The On Hill Development Group, I've been in numerous meetings with them. These guys are experienced. They know the grant world. They know the nonprofit world. They are super excited that we selected them to help us with that phase of the fundraising. The ambassadors, we're going to add more of those. We think one-on-one and being able to sit down with people face-to-face and explaining what this means, as you and I are talking right now, can be very impactful. So we're branching out there. And as I said earlier, we've got a great business plan. We've got a great marketing plan. And now, Joe, we're in the execution phase of that plan. So all hands on deck. We're asking, you don't have to be from Steelton, Pennsylvania or Highspire to help us. If you're a person that respects and wants to see things happen for a group that deserve a second chance or deserve an opportunity, we're that group. So anybody can contribute and anybody can help. And the size of your donation is not important. It's the fact that you think enough of what we're doing to help us out.
Well, we would like to, Lingelstown Gazette Sports would like to, I guess, throw out a little challenge, okay?
Okay.
We would like to get the ball rolling. I'm sure it's already rolling. We know that. But we would like to donate $500.
Oh, that's great.
And kind of step up and say, hey, listen, we got 500. Who else has 500,
That is great, Joe.
Thank you. It's we like to help when we can, and we're fortunate that we have some really, really good sponsors. So this money all comes from our sponsors. So
That's
our
great.
sponsors want to see their money, kind of redirected into worthy causes. So $500 from Lingelstown Gazette Sports, our pleasure. We're glad to have the opportunity. If anybody out there wants to step up and match it or get close to matching or just donating whatever you're able, we'd really appreciate it.
Well, that's much appreciated. And with you guys doing that, that sets a standard and a message for other people. So that's great.
And we're just a tiny little mom and pop, Dave. Okay, so yeah, there's some big boys out there in the community that we'd like to see to step up too. So anything else you want to set? Any other message you want to close with, or
Yeah, the one thing I think we've identified, and look, I grew up in central Pennsylvania. I know the heart of a lot of people there. I know there will be a lot of people willing to help us. And in advance of that, I'm just going to say thank you. And I wish everybody much success back there. And any help you guys can give us, we'll thank you very much for it.
Okay, Mr. Dave Sullivan, Steelton native. He's in Indianapolis, Indiana now. He was at the Indianapolis 500 today. We didn't mention that, but what an exciting day for you. You know,
Yeah.
to be at the Indy 500 and then to have a chance to talk about this this cause that's so dear to your heart, and we'll help you any way we can, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Joe. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
so let's just throw our sponsors back in here one more time. Again, these are the people that helped us donate $500 today. They are Capital Region Insurance Agency, Rickabaz Electric, Payor Apparel, Ted's Bar and Grill, Freedom Financial Wealth Management, The Tire Mart, Team PA, AAU Basketball, Tonino's Pizza, American Legion Post 272, Hoffman Ford, Capital Region Insurance Agency, Modern Imprint, Sam Hartley Decking, Crystal Bob at Iron Valley Real Estate, and Underdog Sports Bar and Grill. Thanks again to those great local businesses for their continued support of Linglestown Gazette Sports and our area student athletes. And once again, we thank all those who served and lost their lives in defense of all the rest of us on this Memorial Day. Thank you to them and their families. And I believe that's going to about do it. Dave, thank you very much. And we'll be in touch. Let's get together and have lunch.
When I come over, lunch will be on me. Dinner will be on me. Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you. You did a great job, by the way.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks a lot.